Tyler McGee here at Orange County National. Wanted to shoot a video. Was lucky to play with one of my good college buddies. We played on the golf team together at Coastal Carolina forever ago, and he's still a great player. He plays a lot. He's, you know, getting ready for some tournaments, and we were talking. He's been driving it awesome. It's actually his play from, say, 50 to 120 yards that he's working on getting better. Wanted to talk through some of his tendencies, and I think it can transfer to some of you at home, and some specific things regarding wedge play and some things to pay attention to. So for his example, in the golf swing, right, we're looking at, okay, how are we going to produce the right amount of attack angle, right, with a good face position and a good club delivery position, right? So obviously the attack angle and the club path are the same. They're working together at all times. So they're going to be combining to create what shot we're hitting. So for my buddy, when he get in there, his tendency when he'd start is actually to start a little bit low. And usually with players, especially with wedges, if they don't feel super comfortable with it, I typically see them start and they start getting real close to the ball with their upper body, okay? So I think that's an issue, because that's going to, basically we're trying to make the right amount of impact on the ground. If we're starting really low, you're going to have to either drive the club into the ground to make a good contact, or you're at some point you're going to have to stand up a bit, and not in the way that we'd like it. It would actually be more from the upper body standing up versus the legs pushing up and the upper body staying down. So for him, more on that, he would take it back sort of low to the ground, and then he really liked to pick it up. And he's a good player. Like he shoots consistently under par, so he definitely knows how to play. But with this shot, his tendency was to pick it up a little bit, and then it was a short swing, so he didn't have enough time to get it back into a shallow enough position to hit a really good shot like he does with his longer swings. So his pattern was he's sort of low, up, and then bang, and it would take quite a big amount of divot. The club would dive into the ground, and sometimes he'd hit a bit of a pull. So for him, we were working a little bit on, one, standing taller with his arms straighter, and his sense was, as he was taking it back, basically that the club was going to work a little bit wider, and then as he comes in, instead of being low with sort of bent arms, he was reaching his arms away and then continuing to push off the ground. So his drill was, we got to keep the arm straight post-impact, you know, post-impact, arms straight right here, boom, versus being low and then the upper body standing up with still bent arms as he would hit it, okay? So what that looks like, this type of drill, is we're going to stand taller, wider on the way back, and as he's coming in, we're going to push earlier off the ground and then continue to extend our arms to a straight arm finish position. So with that, I have a lot less attack angle to manage, okay? Not to say that you're not going to still have attack, it's just there's not a lot of times with wedge play that I see a good player be too shallow. Usually when you're a good player, you understand the type of compression you're looking for. I'm talking like, even if you make good contact with irons, not necessarily related to score, if you're able to make good contact with irons, you got a pretty good perception of what needs to happen at impact. But usually when that carries over to wedges, it maybe gets a little bit too down. So this is an easy way to take some of that attack angle away, again, without working too hard. So again, we stand a little bit taller, arms straighter at address, a little wider in the first move back, and then as you're coming in, you start to push off the ground so your arms can extend, and then a little bit more of that straight arm look in the finish. I think that will help. Hope that helps your wedge play at home. Pay attention to the ground interaction. You can have a little bit of divot, but if that club is diving into the ground, it's going to be really tough to manage that delivery of loft and then how much the ball is going to spin each time.